So you're just saying that PS6 isn't gonna have a disc drive? Oh my god, bro! I saw that, bro. That's just crazy. Isn't I didn't know this already, but doesn't the PS5 already have a external disc drive you can buy? I never knew that was a thing, which is crazy. They're probably playtesting it, but like, I don't know, bro. I don't get it. Like, because I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Why would you buy the disc only version only to buy the disc drive later on? It doesn't make any sense. I just don't get any of it. I really don't understand. Um 5 Slim and maybe 5 Pro have no built-in drives. Yeah, I know that, but like hold on, now I gotta Google it. I could have sworn I saw that you could buy an external hard disk drive. It's 5 external. Yeah, you can buy a disk drive attachment, which like I guess, you know, like if you had to cheap out on it to begin with, but like also this isn't what I saw. Maybe I saw some fake shit. Um it looked like literally the photo that I saw, it looked like literally a disk drive that you plugged into the PS5 instead of like actually attaching. I didn't know this was a thing. Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, I didn't know this was a thing. Um, yeah, no, I guess I saw some fucking fake AI Photoshop shit. You know, like remember back in the day when people used to be like, "Oh my God, this is what the PS4 is gonna look like," and it was a fucking sphere. It was a fucking crystal ball. Yeah, no, it was probably one of those because I was watching somebody's video and I guess they just like threw that in there. But I don't know if that's what they're planning though. If they're just gonna like make a like actual like external disk drive that you plug into the console. Like that's just it doesn't make any sense. But um, when you say that, are you saying that like none of the PS6s are gonna have a disk drive? Because I didn't look that much into it, but I feel like I don't know. I don't know. That's just stupid, bro. I hope that's not the case. Not impressed with the fives lineup of games, so I'm not in a rush for a six. Yeah, I'm not. I'm not buying a six regardless. And not at least for like the first 2 years maybe, unless there's some crazy exclusives. Like that thing would need to have some crazy console sellers, which I don't think it will, judging by how the PS5 went. um Literally, why did I buy a PS5? I think I bought one just because like I bought it in 2020 and I got one when it came out. And you know, I liked, unlike fucking Nintendo, I liked that, you know, um there were you could like get free upgrades to the old PS4 versions of games. So like Ghost of Tsushima, I was playing, and that got upgraded to 60 FPS. I think the Spider-Man games did too. Maybe God of War, I don't remember, but I know a lot of games had the upgrade. So I think that was the main reason I bought one because I just like, you know, I was already playing a bunch of PS4 games. So I was like, okay, well, if I can get better versions of the games for free and maybe play some new games. I think the only new game I bought at launch was Demon Souls, which I never beat. um, I think the only game that really made me want to buy it was Final Fantasy 16, and that one didn't come out till like I think 2 years later. So, um, there really isn't a rush to buy a console like at launch, and especially like you know you kind of have to factor in that like what the first iterations of the consoles are usually the ones that fucking shit themselves and die and break and like have a bunch of problems. So like I got lucky with mine. I haven't had any problems with mine. The only problem I've had is that the joysticks, the rubber on them like melted off, which is partially my fault because I left them. I have a window in front of my PC and I just like left it in the window and apparently the sun burned it off, so that's a thing. um Only got a 5 because Yakuza didn't run well on PS4. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, at least with the PS4 to PS5, like you had free upgrades for the games, and like the fucking Nintendo sucks, bro. Nintendo sucks so much. Oh my god. Do I hold on? Do we get into this right now? We might need to get into this right now. I like watching a lot of like news. Um Hold on, since I'm talking, let me just put some like I don't know, some fucking lo-fi. Hold on. I'm gonna go on a little rant. Um yeah, I've been seeing like videos of like people complaining because of the new Nintendo Direct and like bro, I think it's pretty warranted, I'm not gonna lie. Cause it's okay if like there's just not a lot to show. What was in there? They had the Metroid game. I'm not super tapped in with a lot of Nintendo stuff, so I can't really say I was excited for any of it, to be honest with you. Um, but the Metroid game looked cool. Is that I heard they announced that a long time ago. I feel like I remember them announcing that, and I don't remember how long it's been since they announced it. But yeah, it's probably been a while. Um, had the Pokemon game with the DLC, the instant DLC that's already on the disc. Um, I gotta disagree. I thought this direct was really good with various genres, but nothing for me besides Tomodachi. Well, okay. I'm trying to remember what they had. Um, they also had the Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, which I mean, cool that they're adding it, but I hate when they do that bundle thing and like charge you 67, what's that, $70 probably. Um, what else is there? That Monster Hunter game looks sick. I like that. I want to play that. The only game I'm gonna be completely real with, and I'm biased, I guess. I guess I'm biased because I'm just not. I've never been a huge Nintendo. Ever since the Wii U, I kind of stopped being a Nintendo person. So yeah, you can't take what I say too seriously. But don't ask me about the prices though. They suck ass. Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah. The only thing that I was like genuinely excited, that I'm like would buy a Switch for right now is Kirby Air Ride and maybe the Dust Bloods when it comes out. Um, Other than that, there's no new games coming out that like I'm like, damn, I really want to get a Switch. Like, I don't think I'll buy a Switch 2 until like maybe like another 2 or 3 years. I'm gonna be real with you. Until there's like a good amount of games on there. And even then, like all the games are still gonna be $70. I'm not gonna be able to save any money on the games. So like I'm not gonna be buying a lot of Switch games because they're all so damn expensive. Even if I try to buy it on eBay, it's like $50 still. Like if I looked at like what was it, Tears of the Kingdom, just out of curiosity, I don't think I saw anything lower than like $45 for Tears of the Kingdom, like a used like physical copy, which is crazy. So I think that's the other reason that like it's holding me back from Nintendo is just the prices of the games. Once Tomodachi or Animal Crossing gets released date, I'll probably fold. Hmm. I know Animal Crossing is a seller for sure. I never played a Tomodachi Life game, so I can't speak on that. But that game does look nice. It does look fun. Um, what else? Maybe I should just pull it up. Let's see. Let's see what they announced at Nintendo Direct. Let's see. Okay, Mario Tennis Fever. Okay, okay. That one was cool. Um, Still not. Yeah, I guess I'm biased. I guess I'm biased because like none of these games for me personally are like, oh my god, I gotta go get a Switch. Pokemon, I do want to play this. I'm not gonna lie. I want to play it, but still not enough to buy a Switch. It's just not enough for me yet. Um, I think when I watched the direct, I think I only skimmed through it, so I didn't see a lot of stuff like this Dragon Age game. I didn't see this. Is this good? They have a trailer like gameplay. What is this? Okay, this looks cool. But yeah, like me not having a Steam Deck or a Switch I'm just like it's a no-brainer for me to get a Steam Deck before I get a Switch. Like I just like there's so much more I could do with that. Um like so many of these games like aren't Switch exclusives. Hades, I don't need to switch for that. Little Nightmares, don't need to switch for that. Persona 3, don't need to switch for that. Don't need to switch for that. I don't know what this is, but yeah, I don't know if that's a Switch exclusive. Um so like really like there's very few games here that like you need a Switch for. So I think it is, you know, the early console drought. Pokemon looks crazy, but I'm not in a rush either. Yeah, like that's the thing that sucks though. It's like even if you wait it out, like even if I were to wait 2 to 3 years before getting a Switch, this game is still gonna cost $70, bro. This game, the price is not gonna go down. So it doesn't even matter if I wait or not. Like the only reason I'm waiting is just so that there's more games. But like the game prices aren't gonna go down, so I'm not gonna buy a lot of games. So like it just all sucks. Like they're just so anti-consumer, bro. It's just I hate it, bro. Like literally, I feel like if they eased up on their pricing models, they would sell so much more. Like I just don't get it. Like it's I feel like it's basic economics, you know? You just like undersell and over deliver, you know what I'm saying? Like give people like an easy entry point. What do you call it? There's a term that it's a common term I can't even remember right now. I'm so tired. But yeah, basically, oh yeah, low barrier to entry. You give people a low barrier to entry, lower the price of the Switch, you know, relax on the game prices a bit, and you'll get so much more sales. I don't, but they want every penny, they want every damn penny. It's crazy. It's crazy. Um, and I don't know. I I want to say that you know they're gonna it's gonna come back to bite them, but I feel like Nintendo fans are like they just love like the hardcore Nintendo fans. They just love to be screwed over because that Switch 2, like I'm pretty sure they said it's the fastest selling console in history. Like it's the fastest selling launch of a console ever. I think it was like 3 million units in like 2 weeks or something like that. Like people, there were no games. It was just Mario Kart and fucking who knows, fucking Cyberpunk. Like there were no games, and 3 million people bought it the first 2 weeks. Like what are we doing, bro? With those crazy prices, Nintendo can do whatever they want, unfortunately, and I'm hoping you know it comes back to bite them. Like I hope like the sales just like drop and plummet because people realize like you know like a lot of the people who like were on the fence of buying a Switch just don't buy it, and like I don't know, bro. We'll see what happens, but yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm good with what I got. I'm gonna stick to my fucking PC and the rare PS5 exclusive. The PS5 don't even get me started on PlayStation. PlayStation doesn't drop exclusives anymore. I don't remember the last exclusive. The last exclusive I got was Stellar Blade, and that came out what like almost 2 years ago now. So I don't even my PS5 is just collecting dust, bro. So literally, I only use my PC. It's just like not much reason for me to have a console at this point. Literally, the only no, I take that back. I was about to say something crazy. I was about to say that I would buy a PS6 to play GTA 6 on if it runs better, but I'm not. I'm not buying a whole console just for GTA. Hopefully that PC version doesn't take too long to come out after the console release, but we'll see. I know it's going to be at least a year from the console launch to the um PC launch of GTA 6, which that's assuming they don't delay the game again. I feel like, I mean, fingers crossed they don't, but I feel like they'll fucking delay that game again. The state of gaming. But I was having this conversation with someone the other day where people like to say that there's no games, or not everyone. There's a lot of people that like to talk about how gaming sucks nowadays and there's no games, but that's not the truth. It's just there's just so much to sift through, and not everything has like a great advertising budget. Like You know, it's just like a endless ocean of stuff. So they're gonna have a lot of good stuff out there and a lot of bad stuff out there. It's like there's more games than ever to play, and there's also not to mention all the old games that you could go back and play that you can play on old consoles or emulate. So like, there's never been more games to play. So like, gaming is perfectly fine. It's just there's just so much stuff, but there are like a lot of bad practices on the hands of companies like Nintendo and publishers like fucking EA and shit. So yeah, they just need to be more thorough about finding what they want. It's like, you know, a few console generations ago, like there were only so many games and like there were only so many avenues to advertise the games. So it made sense that like it was easier to find stuff. But now it's not that there's less games, it's just that there's like so much more and like it's so much harder to advertise things. So yeah, people just need to dig around a bit. And I do get it. It is kind of tough to find good stuff, I'll be honest. Like even trying to search through Steam, I feel like the Steam search functions are good, but they're not thorough enough to help me find what I'm looking for. Like I kind of still have to like scroll and scroll and scroll pages and pages to find games just because it's just the sheer number of shit that comes out on Steam is just so much. So yeah, it's like it's a lot to sift through. That's the problem. So, like for example, there was one game that I bought recently um that I got for like $2, I think. It was like $2 or $3. I had this on my wish list a while ago, and if I hadn't like checked my wish list or something, oh no, I had it bookmarked on Chrome, and I just like checked it real quick, and it happened to be on sale. Yeah, it's $24, but I got it for like $3. This game, The Gunk, I'm gonna play this probably on stream someday. But this game is sick. It looks so cool, but like you don't hear anything. I never hear anyone talk about this game, even when it came out. I remember I wishlisted it, and that was it. I never really heard of it again. And it looks like a sick game. And it's just it kind of sucks to think about like there's just so many games out there like this that like are really cool, but they just didn't really have the advertising budget, you know, and they just couldn't really push it as much as they might have wanted to. The Gunk. Have you heard of this? Have you played it? This game looks sick, bro. Like there's just so many. This publisher, Thunderful, they put out a lot of good stuff. I played another game by them recently called Wavetail, where you're like it's kind of like a post-apocalyptic world where like um you can there's like water covering. Hold on, let me find it. I'll show you. And it's a short game. Yeah, it's $3 right now, bro. This game. If you want a nice little like 5 hour, yeah, I have 5 hours on it. Nice little 5 hour game for $3, which honestly is a crazy steal. This game is sick, bro. Like the mechanics of this game is so fun. It's like riding around on these waves and like it's a platformer. And like yeah, this game is just fun to play. It has a nice little story. The music is nice. But like you never hear about games like this cuz there's just so much out there. Yeah, this game was a lot of fun. But yeah, that's honestly that's one thing I love doing. I love just like trying new games. And I would love to try a lot of games, but the problem is you have to pay money for them. And like Game Pass only has so much. Like Game Pass has a lot of stuff, but it has a lot of stuff that I don't care for. So like that's the only reason I haven't really invested in Game Pass. But yeah, it's just so much out there, and you have to spend a lot of money on it, considering the game prices are so fucking high now. But yeah, that's my rant. That's my rant. Let's I'm gonna get back to the gameplay for a bit. Let me go back to my skate slop.